afternoon. Good afternoon. There we go. How is everybody doing? Okay, all right. If you are here for the Student Academic Resource Center Academic Success Workshop on Goal Setting and Motivation, then you are in the right place. And I think this is a perfect time of the semester for us to be going over such a topic because we are now in the second half of the spring semester here. So time to get a little tight with some of our things. Time for us to reevaluate the goals that we set at the beginning of the semester. Either we've got to come to a realization of some of our expectations will not be met, or, which I think happens more often than not, students have shortchanged themselves. So we've got to increase some goals here. You might have said at the beginning of the semester, no way can I get a C in astronomy. Now you're rocking an A. So we've got to change those goals. Okay, or vice versa. But a lot of times you guys are really hard on yourselves, so I bet you we've got some other goals to be adjusted. And it's good to do that now, okay? It's good to do all of this now. So let's start with some background about some goals and the reasons for them. And we'll get into some motivational techniques too that can help you stay really strong and focused for the rest of this semester. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of great faces out there, so we're going to get through this really well today. All right, what do you think is the purpose of goals? What do they serve? Why have them? Why even have a goal? What do you think they do for us?
Help us.
Say it again?
Help us.
In what way?
In a positive way.
Good. Here you go. Okay. Let's say, would it be fair to say that they add positivity? I'm going to say to our lives. Is that fair? Can I say that? Is that okay? Good. What is another reason? Why do we have goals? Why set them? Yes, sir?
Gives us like motivation, something to work for, like work towards.
Mm-hmm. Gives us something to work towards. To work towards. And can I even shorten that if you don't mind, my friend? Gives us something to do. Don't goals almost become like a to-do list of things for us? So it keeps us on. You ready?
Oh, okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I can still do it. Okay. What else? Why else do you think we have goals? What purpose do goals serve us?
Shows your progress.
Nice. Very good. Demonstrates progress. Nicely done. That's one of the essential parts of an effective goal, is that we are able to demonstrate progress that happens, that we're able to measure the outcome of goals. So that's a great one. What's another purpose? One more. Let's round it out to a nice 4. What would be another reason? Yes, ma'am.
It creates an outline of just what you're doing, what you need to work towards. I don't know if that's like kind of.
Okay. No, I like it. It creates us. How about if we go ahead and keep it with like a life outline? Mm-hmm. I like that word outline in association with goals. I haven't thought of that before. Nice job. Okay. Gives us that life outline. What do you think are some of the common goals that all students here? You ready, my friend? I'm going to have to toss this to you. There you go. What do you think are some of the common goals all UCF students have? Graduate. Very good, very good. All together, graduation, right, okay. So for the purposes of this exercise today, let's just focus in on the academic side of our life here at UCF. Is that okay to do? That we focus in on the academic side of things just for today? All right, and definitely these are things that you can apply to your personal and what we kind of call professional goals that you might have set up here at UCF as well. Goals along the lines of that I want to have a job here at UCF, I want to work part-time, or a job is to be secretary of a student organization, or I want to go ahead and successfully pledge a sorority or fraternity. You know, you have those kind of other personal professional side of goals there at UCF. But in here, let's focus in on the academic part of goals here, because a lot of times we got to have that academic part done for us to make those other goals possible. True? You know, I have a goal of wanting to obtain a scholarship. Well, 9 times out of 10, it's attached to a GPA. You know, I want to pledge a sorority fraternity, attached to a GPA. I want to be an O-teamer, attached to a GPA. So it's hard to find too many things here on campus that aren't attached to a GPA for you to fulfill your goals on the personal side. So we'll work on this whole thing called graduation. Okay, that's what we'll work on in here. So yeah, these are some of the reasons why we want to have goals. They do give us a purpose. Gives us some reasons for getting up in the morning, and by the end of this, it's going to give you even more of a sense of, this is why I don't miss class. Okay, is to succeed in my goals. Okay, this is why I'm going to take that extra moment and I'm going to review that paper that I wrote for my English class, polish it up one more time because I have a goal to achieve. Okay, it's why some of you will take that extra moment and come into SARC and get tutoring or going to SI, because you want to make sure you get those A's and B's because you have a goal that you have set up. So goals truly do bring us home, bring us together to say, hey, this is a mission that I have here. This is something I want to make sure I get done. Okay? And I'll tell you, academic goals and striving for them is truly no different. I equate it a lot to trying to be fit, try to be healthier. Okay? The one thing about goals is there is a time issue. There is a time issue associated with goals, and some of us want that instant gratification right away. And if we don't get it, we have problems. But there's a time issue associated with goals. True? Do you buy that? Okay. GPA is a big math problem. A GPA is nothing more than a math issue. There's no emotion associated with a GPA. Okay. There's no kind of little things that you can put on your transcript to explain what occurred. Okay. It is math. It is pure math. And we all know we've had taken math. There's not a lot of emotion and feeling in math, is there? An occasional headache, I know, but not a lot of emotion and feeling in math. But there's a time issue. So when I was saying it equates to getting fit and healthy, you can't walk into the Rec and Wellness Center here at UCF, do a couple of reps with the weights, and walk out looking like a bodybuilder. You can't. Nobody can. Okay, I have yet to meet the person who can do that. And if I do, I will let you all know how they do that. Okay, it can't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. What it does is you need it over time. No different than the A's. No different than getting those A's. It is a 14-week process here. It's not an instantaneous process. Now, a lot of students now, I bet you're doing this. If you haven't, you will soon. All right, but this is the time of the semester where students start to try to figure out where they are in class. You might start going to the side of your paper. All right, you're in the library, you're studying for that, upcoming econ exam, and you're going, I've got a 70, a 42, and a 96. If I add that up, my average is this. On my next test, if I get this, then my average will be that. But what if I don't get that? What if it's lower? Then it's going to be, no, it's not going to be lower. It's going to be higher. I'm going to make it happen this time. No. So then it's going to be this. Okay, so now this is my final grade in economics, and I'm taking 4 other classes as well. So when I add up all 5 of these classes, my overall GPA for the semester will equal. Are we doing that already? Yeah, okay. You know what? I don't think that's a bad thing. At least you're being active and trying to figure it out. But I'm going to tell you one technique that can help you with this and be right on course with it, okay? Because honestly, this is a waste of time, all right? And the reason it's a waste of time is because you are adding emotion into it. And that's your own emotion. I can't blame you. Oh my gosh, I got a 42. Well, if I had just studied harder, I shouldn't have gone out. Oh, but look, I got a 96, so I'm on my way now. You have that emotional tag to it. What I want to encourage you to do here with these goals, right now, if you haven't done it yet, make it a goal, okay? Make it a goal to do this by the end of, let's see, yeah, by the end of this month. You can all do this by the end of this month. Here's your goal, okay, for March. All right, for after spring break, this is your goal. You're going to get in front of each one of your professors, and you're going to find out where you stand in that class. Because us, as instructors and professors here, aren't we the ones that are going to key it in? Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. We wish you could, but no. You can't key in your final grade. The professor's doing that. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been reading a lot of syllabi here on campus. It's a little crazy out there. Y'all's syllabi are whacked. All right, have you really read, especially the grading portion of your syllabi lately? You know, if your 4 exams add up to an average that's higher than the class, then we'll reduce the lowest one by 10, but only if it rained on Tuesday. Okay, I'll detract 40% of your final grade if your overall average is higher than your final, but then you don't really have to take the final. I'm sorry, but some of these professors got a lot of time on their hand for that grading portion. For me, it's added up, divide, hello, we're done. Okay, I'm not doing all this higher math. But it can get a little crazy, right? And don't you love the 5% or 10% for class participation? Could somebody define class participation for me? Isn't it very subjective? But that's a big 10%, isn't it, though? You want to know about that 10%, and every student goes, I got that whole 10%. Well, you don't know if you really got that. You got to ask the person who's going to be keying in the A, B, B plus, C. You got to ask them. They're the ones that know. Okay? So, in setting up your goals for this, you need to get in front of your professors. Make it a goal. Do it now. Don't wait, because what's going to start to happen in April is the riffraff from your class is going to start to come out. And this riffraff that's in your class, you know, those people who only show up for tests, those people who show up occasionally and have turned to you and said, what were the notes from last week? And you're like, really? Seriously? Okay, I've been here, you get here. You know what I'm talking about when I say riffraff. You know what they look like. Okay? They're going to start to come out of the woodwork now. And they're going to start going to professors, and they're going to start to build up a reputation that is not really good for all students. And these are the ones that are the beggars, they're the pleaders, they're the criers, they're the oh my goodnesses. You know, you don't seem to understand, professor. If I don't pass this course, I do not get my financial aid, so you need to do something about it. Excuse me? Did you see something wrong with that sentence? What was wrong with that sentence? You need to do something, yeah. Then I don't want you to be tagged along in that group. I don't want you to be associated with that group. Okay, so this is what you do. You go into their office hours. Do this during their office hours. Okay? Don't do it before class. Don't do it after class or anything like that. There's too much going on. All right? Get one-on-one with them. This is the way to do it. Get one-on-one with them in their office hours. And you want to say, sir, doctor, madam, Mr., whatever. By my calculation, I have a B. I have an 82 in this class. Is that true? That's your first step in this, okay? What is your prediction? Okay, Dr. Jones, from my understanding at this point in time, I have an 82. Is that correct? Instead of saying to Dr. Jones, where do I stand in the class? You see the difference in that? Okay, because students even in my class will ask me, okay, Miss Wright, where am I in your class? Hey, add it up and divide, people. You know exactly where you're standing. You have all of your work from me. Don't ask me. You know exactly where it is, okay? You don't want to be lumped into that. So by you going in and saying, this is what I'm predicting I'm at, they love that, okay? And then let them say something. If they say, yes, I have you at an 82, great. Then you know that some of this work you did on the side, you did right, okay? But if the professor says, well, really, an 82, I have you at a 70. Oh, could you show me how you arrived to that number, please? I'd appreciate that, because obviously I made an error. Obviously I made an error, okay? Can you show me how you arrived to that? So again, you can see if you're doing all of that correctly. And if they said, well, you have yourself at an 82, I have you at a 90. Fantastic. How did you arrive to that number? All right, both ways you want to know how did they arrive to that number. But let's just say Dr. Jones says to me, 82, perfect. Then this is the next conversation you have with them. You're going to say to him, it is my understanding, sir, between now and the end of the semester, we have 2 tests, a final and a paper, let's say. Know exactly what you have left between now and the end of the semester when you're having this conversation, okay? So it's my understanding, sir, we have 2 tests, a paper and a final. What would I need to produce to you out of those 4 grades to make that 82 become a 90? Because that's my goal in this class, is an A. I'm only 8 points away. Is it mathematically possible for me to do that now? And if so, what are the numbers? Don't let them say to you, just do well. No kidding, Sherlock, I knew that. You want, how, a goal needs to be what? Somebody said it. Specific. A goal needs to be specific. So if you can't write a goal for econ, let's just do better. You need to know. You ready, my friend? Ready? It's soft, okay? There you go. All right? You need to be very specific on that. So you will say, okay, sir, test 1, and let them say that one needs to equal an 87. Test 2 needs to be a 90. The paper needs to be an 85. And then if all goes according to plan here, final needs to be an 86. I'm making all of that up, okay? But now, doesn't this help out a little bit? Instead of forecasting what you might think the future is, you know exactly what you need to do. Okay, so you're telling me, yet again, sir, you know, it's kind of like sometimes you're doing this when you go out to buy yourself a sofa or anything. Let me make sure I understand. You're telling me test 1 87, test 2 a 90, paper an 85, final an 86, I would receive an A in your class. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Now I know exactly what I need to do. See you in class on Thursday. And skip right on out of there, okay? But get very specific with them. Don't allow them just to say, do well. If you continue on the path that you are, well, sir, if I do that, that's going to keep me at a B. My final grade in here is not a B, it's an A. Now, if the professor says this and you're like, hey, this is realistic, now you know you can do it, right? Now, what if the professor said that your average is maybe not as high as you want it to be? Say it's a 70. And they start saying that you've got to get 90s and stuff. Another part of a goal is that it needs to be what? Did I give a little, maybe? Realistic. Not enough light bulbs to go around for everybody who said realistic. Nicely done, okay? It also needs to be realistic. This is where you have to start having some of those honest conversations with yourself. And it's okay, overachiever, society, generation that we have going on now. Okay, it's okay, overachievers. In my day in the 80s, please. No, a C meant celebrate, okay? It did not mean anything else. You celebrated if you got a C. I can't relate to y'all right now, okay? Yeah, all right, I got back a 75. Like that, you all get back a 75 and you're in the counseling center, okay? It's okay. But start to have some of that realistic talk to yourself. And it's okay, folks. It's okay. So, which I've had both conversations when I was an undergrad with my professors in this realm. One to see how I could get an A. The other one to figure out, okay, maybe I'll see you next semester. Okay, that happens. But let them be realistic. If they start saying you need to pull 106 on your next 2 exams, okay, well, that's just not going to happen now, is it? All right, if I'm at a level that I'm okay with, then you just continue going on. Okay? You just continue to go on. And it starts for you to have those realistic conversations with yourself now, not at the end of April when we have finals going on and you're freaking out as you're trying to study. Know where you stand now. Okay? And it's not too early to find out. It really isn't. Now, many of you might be in large classrooms where there's only a couple of grades given. Okay? You could still figure that out now. Have a good conversation like that with your professor. If nothing else, by you being in front of your professor, they're going to remember this conversation because it sounded very different, didn't it? It didn't sound like the riffraff they're coming in. You don't understand. You don't understand. Oh, I don't, do I? Tell me more what I don't understand. If I don't pass this, my mother will kill me. Okay, I've never really known a parent actually kill a child over a grade, so let's not get that dramatic. All right, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be lumped into there. Have a different tone when you go in there. And your tone is, how do I move it up a letter grade? And then you just start making decisions, okay? And if somebody gives you this reality check like this, then you know how to study for an 87, don't you? Don't you know how to study for an 87? What time goes into that? What materials you need to have in front of you? If a professor said to me, all you need to make is a 70 or better, I'm studying for a 71 and calling it a night. Well, see, that's where we don't relate. See, you all can't handle that, can you? No, but that's what I do. I would study for a 71, go bye-bye. All right? Start to have these things so you can reassess your goals, write them down, which we're going to get to here in a moment, and you're focusing in on them. Okay? So have that good conversation with these professors. So go in there with your calculations already done. That's step one. Go in there with the syllabus in front of you. They'll freak out that you even still have the syllabus. So show that you really, here, I'll get you in on a secret. Pull out your syllabus out of a 3-ring binder and a sheet protector in front of your professors and watch them lose their minds. I'm telling you, folks, it's these little things they look at. They put my syllabus in a sheet protector. My syllabus is in a sheet. Trust me, I work with faculty, okay? They lose their minds if they see a student coming in prepared, okay? So do that. Set it up in advance, and you'll look really good. You'll look really good, okay? And you're just like, oh, hold on 1 minute, sir. Oh. Like, do it. Be very dramatic about it. All right, be very dramatic about it. Again, I want to establish you all from the others. Get where I'm going with that. All right, establish you from the others, and it does pay off. I can't tell you how many times those little things like that. We're sitting at home 5 minutes before grades are due. B plus, B plus, B. Now wait a minute here. That student came to my office on a couple of occasions. That's right. They always sat right over here. We had, B plus. I can't tell you how often it does happen. Did you have your hand up, ma'am? Yes.
Is it bad to go a lot of times?
Is it bad to go a lot of times to your professor's office? I don't think so. If you go in there with a purpose, you've got to have a game plan. You've got to have a purpose in your head. All right? Even if you wanted to, almost a speech, AKA a play written out, okay? Go in there with a single purpose with them, and it's not bad to do that. That's what they're there for. Now, I'm going to just kind of guess maybe the reason you asked such a good question, too, and I'm sure everybody else in here was glad you asked it as well, is it sometimes you get a vibe of annoyance. Okay. That is their job, okay? And I'm speaking on behalf of my colleagues now. I mean, I'm also an instructor here, all right, as well as on the student advocacy side, all right? But that is our job. And if, I can't tell you how many times I've been in I have a long list of professors from my undergraduate days that if I ever saw even on the side of I-4, I wouldn't stop, okay? Like, no, sorry, bye, deal with your flat tire, okay? And then there's some that I would stop for, and we all have these lists. If you don't, you will, okay? If you get that vibe of it, do this as quickly as you can, cut it down, head out. All right, I've had to do it too. There have just been times going, this isn't good. I can tell that right. I got to hightail it up out of here. Get what you need and go. There's going to be those vibes that you get. But again, I think they will be so pleased. It's all about how you approach it and that preparedness and that catching them off guard with the sheet protector. As crazy as it sounds, it would work, my friends. It will work. But go in there prepared. It's their job. And if you get that little annoyance factor, that's shame on them, okay? Shame on them. But unfortunately, you're not the first class of UCF here, so there's so much baggage. Yeah, That's what I'm saying. Your colleagues prior to you have set you up. Okay, not all of them, but let me tell you, a good majority of them have. Okay, so that's where I want to try to set you guys apart from that. All right, and that is very hard for instructors to do. Is every semester we have got to try to wipe the slate clean and go, this is brand new. This is a student I've never seen before. Okay, I got to treat them just brand new. It's very difficult to do that when you have, even as, you know, I've got 12 years underneath me. It's hard to imagine if you got 22 years underneath you. Okay, now that's not a cop-out, but that gives you a little insight. Okay, great question. All right, so let's make these happen so we can reassess our goals and know where we are. Now, on the white sheet of paper that everybody got, this is how you calculate your GPA. Now, there are GPA calculators on UCF websites. If you just type in GPA calculator on the UCF homepage, it'll come up. So you could do things on the web, okay, to get it. The reason I like having a handout is, again, something you can change up often. All right, and it's also something you can post, and we're going to get to that last part of the importance of goal setting and motivation, is being able to look at your goals. You can't look at the GPA calculator every day like you can these things, okay? So let me just briefly run you through how you do this, okay, on there. On that first column that we have there, it says semester classes, so you would list each one of your classes there. Excuse me, ENC 1101, math, history, whatever you're taking. Okay, list them all there. Is there anybody in the classroom, anybody in the room who is taking a class not for credit, meaning an SU is the grading system? Is there anybody in an SU class? Okay, then I'm not going to go into the whole meaning of the SU with that. So you would list all of those, okay? The next column there, it says credit hours towards GPA. You would put down how many credit hours is your coursework. 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 credit hours, however many. All of this information is on your schedule, and it's also on your syllabus. Okay? Then the letter grade there. This is where you want to start to, again, you know where you stand in classes. Realistically, not what we would like to make, what can we make? You need to put that down. That's where you would put your letter grade down. Now, I would highly recommend you check your syllabus to see if you have plus or minus professors. I'm a plus or minuser in my class. Students can get, a C minus, or they could get a B plus. So check out to make sure, see where your plus and minus people are, okay? Because that has a big impact on your GPA as well. All right? So then you put that down there. Then you would add up your credit hours that you have, and maybe it's 14, 15, 16, 17 credit hours. And now to make a GPA, you have to divide two numbers by each other, right? So how do we turn those letters into numbers is on the back of that, okay? And that's your grade point chart. So if you wrote down that you are going to get a B plus in economics, which is a 3-hour credit class, how many credit points would you earn? Say it again? 9.75. Do you see how that lines up? Do you see how that one lines up there? Okay. So that's how you convert your letters into numbers. You add up your credit hours, add up your grade points, divide by the 2, there's your GPA. Okay, and it's GPA for the semester. Okay, if anybody in here is doing a grade forgiveness for this semester, all right, it will not impact this sheet. Your grade forgiveness impacts your overall GPA. Do you understand how grade forgiveness works? Do you want me to do that real quick? Anybody? We're all good? Huh? Yeah, grade forgiveness, I'm very familiar with grade forgiveness. It's the reason I have an undergraduate degree. All right, grade forgiveness is a fine and dandy, wonderful, positive thing. Don't worry about it. Students go, what is a grade forgiveness going to look like on my transcript? It's not going to look like anything. Okay, don't worry about it. It's there for a good reason, not a negative reason. And again, I wouldn't be standing before you with 3 degrees if there wasn't such a good thing called it. Okay, so take advantage of it if you have to. So let's say in the fall 2009, I took biology, which is a 4-hour credit class, and I received an F. In the spring 2010 semester, I took biology, again, 4-hour credit course, and let's say I make an A. Okay? What happens is at the end of the spring 2010 semester, the registrar's office is going to go back in to your fall 2009 GPA, and let's just say with everything else it came out to be, it was a 188, let's just say. All right, you've got other grades here of 3 C's and an F, okay? And you ended up with a GPA of a 1.88. Registrar's office will go back into your fall 2009 semester, recalculate your GPA like that F did not occur, and then that changes. You can tell my math is way off, okay? That changes to a 2.0, and your A stays in your spring term. Okay? And then on your transcript, next to biology here, there's a little asterisk that indicates grade forgiveness. Please see better grade later on. Okay? That's how that works. Okay? So again, this is a math equation. It's nothing but math here. So that's how it can change it up. Does that make sense? Grade forgiveness? All right, work with your advisors on this. Work with financial aid on this. Okay, so you'll know how that impacts any kind of scholarships or bright futures or all that stuff. Work with your advisors if you have any questions regarding grade forgiveness. All right, now as you can see with this student here, they didn't actually make the goals, and we know that they probably set, but that's why grade forgiveness, it only stayed with them for 1 semester. Didn't stay with them for life. Hello, this is me. Okay, did not stay with them for life. Grade forgiveness can help you with that. Make sense? Now, the only other thing with grade forgiveness, because I know we're going to be doing some registering here soon, okay, for summer and fall terms, just with grade forgiveness, you have to take the course here at UCF. You can't go to Valencia and take econ over again and use grade forgiveness. It has to be done here. Does not have to be done with the same professor. Does not have to be done within the same mode of instruction. So if you went from a face-to-face to online, that's fine, as long as it's taken here at UCF. That's the only stipulation. Okay? Good. All right, any questions on creating your GPA on that sheet? Okay. Take some time. The weather's getting nice. Get outside, clear your mind a little bit, focus in on this, get it done. All right, so you're not doing that scribble, scrabble, and all that stuff at the end there, okay, on the side sheet of paper. You've got it in front of you, and you're going to rock it, okay? And it's there, and you know exactly where you stand. Then what you're going to do is with the I Can Do It card that each one of you received, you can go ahead and put that GPA in there if you want. Then I would recommend taking this card. Maybe you can do it again on your computer. You all are very savvy with this kind of stuff. Okay, make a couple of these, photocopy them, whatever you want to do. Then you got to start placing it somewhere. All right, if you take the sheet of paper, that white sheet of paper or this, and you go like this, and stick it in your shoe or in your backpack, or we'll get you another one, okay? All right, or in the garbage, or just in your folder or something. Can she see her goals in my foot? No. Doesn't mean anything. Means zippo. Got to look at it, okay? So I think a lot of you have some good lofty goals for this semester. So let's just pretend this is one of them. All right? So I want you all to close your eyes for 1 second, and then on the count of 3, I want you to open them and look up front here. So close your eyes now. 1, 2, 3, open them. Imagine looking at this when you woke up every single morning. This board, this size, was in front of you. You just woke up, bam! Looking at your goal is this thing is now bothering my foot. Looking at your goals is so necessary, so incredibly necessary. All right, if you fold them up and put them in your shoe, it means nothing. Looking at it is what counts. So that's what I'm saying. You got to get with this. Put it in your calendar, put it in your binder, stick it to your computer. I actually had a student who attended one of these seminars that I did on goal setting, and she, I think it was a little form of procrastination, but that's okay, took cardboard and cut out a big 3-4 and put it on her wall, and she emailed it to me and said, see, I want to show you, I got my goals. And I was like, good for you. Huge 3.4 in her bedroom over her bed. Okay? You got to look at it. Now, where this comes from, and I can tell you from practical experience, it works. My sister and I were raised with the power of positive thinking from my father. Yeah, one of those where you roll your eyes every time at dinner going, yes, Dad, I can. Yes, Dad, I will. Okay, didn't really. I'm like, whatever, Dad. Yeah. And I got myself into a little trouble. My first semester as an undergrad, I did not go here to UCF. Okay, let me just clarify that. But I got myself into some GPA trouble. And my dad started to say to me, what does it take to make Dean's List where you go to school? And I was like, well, I don't know. He goes, find out and tell me. Well, if you want to know what it takes to make Dean's List, here it is right here. Okay? There it is right there. What it takes to make Dean's List. Dean's List here, okay, is a 3.4 GPA that is per semester. So you can make Dean's List more than one time. You put it on your resume under honors and awards every single time you get it. Like for me, Dean's List, 1988. That was it. But by golly, I got to put it on there. All right, that's all that counts. All right, but if you are much better, you could put Dean's List, fall 2009, spring 2010, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, sir. You had a question?
Is Dean's List your cumulative GPA or your UCF GPA?
UCF GPA. It's UCF GPA, just within that semester. Your cumulative overall would go with graduating with honors that is listed there, okay? Now you see with graduating with honors there is not a GPA, there's a percentage because it depends on the college of your major, what that GPA happens to be. So you can ask an advisor within the college of your major, what does it take to be in the upper 5%? What does it take to be in the upper 25 or whatever the percent, 2%, excuse me. Is that a 3.9 in this college? Is it a 3.7? What is it? So then you can know that you're graduating with honors. Okay? So that's there. Dean's List is each semester. Graduating with honors is at the end of your career here. Okay? And then they have those 3 different titles that go with it. Magna cum laude, summa cum laude, etc. Okay? So again, you can take these. This is a goal right here. Okay? Post it. You got to look at this. So when I got to myself in academic difficulty my first semester, I did what my father told me to do. Take a little card like I gave you, put down what did it take, and post it where you can see it every single day. And I did. It was right on my desk. Okay, so every day. Now, here's the thing that happens when you look at something like this. When you're constantly looking at it, this is no different, folks, than posters you have in your room. Posters are gigantic goals. Think about some of the posters you might have in your room. All right, you might have, like for me, my goal is to someday go to Italy. So my dining room and living room is decorated in a little Italian flair, like I like to call it. Okay, but being around it, it keeps my goal alive there. Okay, that's it. That's part of it. If you have, sometimes people have cars up there. Oh God, it would be great to own a Ferrari, so you put that poster up there. And yes, folks, it is no difference if you put a couple celebrities up there. Yeah, a goal is to not only meet, become madly in love, engaged, and get married. That's what we did when we were younger. Maybe we're out of that phase, maybe we're not. I know I'm not. There's still one celebrity out there I am holding out for, okay? So, but that's what these posters are for, and that's on video. That's what these posters are for, okay? They're for your goals. That's why you have them up there. When I was in school, the Police, just nod your head and say, yes, I know this band, The Police. Just nod your head. Oh, yeah, very familiar with them. Just nod your head, thank you. All right, just keep me going here, all right? The Police were huge for me. They just ruled my life, and I had a great big poster on it because I wanted to see them in concert more than life itself. All right? Now, did I write down on a sheet of paper, I want to see the Police before I die? No. But that is part of why you choose posters. It truly is a sense of goals. It's a sense of motivation. All right? So why not have a poster that looks like this for a couple of years? And then trust me, when you get out into the real world, you'll start setting other goals. All right? If you come over to my office anytime here after this workshop, you will see a goal that is on my desk. And I've had it up there since September 19th of last year. And it's a number that I've been looking at since that time. Okay? And you just keep doing that. You keep doing these goals all the time, so it's very important to have them. But for right now, let's get these right here. Right here is where you need to get them. This became such an obsession of mine that I had them up on all of our mirrors in the dorm room, had them on our doors and everything, and my roommate actually made Dean's List. And she was like, I wonder how I did that. I said, maybe it was all the stickums I had. I don't know. She goes, maybe. All right? But you take on the persona of your goal. Does a 3.5 GPA student who makes Dean's List skip class on a regular basis? No. Does a 3.5 GPA student sleep during class? No. You take on the persona of a 3.5. A 3.5 student goes to class every day. They sit towards the front. They interact with their professor. They take good notes. They highlight. They recopy their notes. They go to SARC for tutoring or SI. They visit their advisor. They become involved here at UCF. They have a study schedule. They go to the library. They have study groups. They use their textbook. There's a concept. Let's say open their textbook. There's a concept. And we'll get to that in another seminar. Okay? So when you take on the persona of that, then things happen. Okay? It kind of goes along with that old adage that you might have heard some of this, maybe, especially if you have any business majors. That's what I was as an undergrad. We heard this a lot. In essence, you dress not for the job that you have, but the job that you want. Right? Okay? Business major? Yeah. Good. I'm glad that they're still doing that. Makes me feel good there. All right? It's part of it. You have to dress for what you want in those areas. That's the goal part of things. All right? The motivation, that's got to totally be internal with you. It has to be internal. Okay? Now, this is the time in the semester, all right, where things start getting a little hairy, people start getting a little tense and all that. You've got to start looking out for you and you only. It's a time to become extremely selfish. So when your best friend, I have a feeling this is right here. All right? Okay? When your best friend says, hey, 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 did you see down at Waterford Lakes they're having a sale, buy one, get one? Over there with the shoes, did you see? Pay less, buy one, get one. This one's got a history exam the next day. She's got to be able to say to her friend, go have fun. Can't go. All right? That's where it gets a little hard, all right? Our friends sometimes can be dangerous to us when it comes to our academic goals. Yeah, my friend over here shaking her head, yeah. All right? So we have to categorize our friends sometimes and use them how they need to be used. If you have a friend that tends to do this a lot, okay, talks you out of things, all of that, you got to compartmentalize them for the rest of the semester. All right? They're the ones that you go, you know what? When I make that 86 and 87, we're going to go get ice cream at, hello, help me. Thank you. Okay? We're going to go get ice cream. That's who you draw that friend in, the celebration friend. Okay? So watch your friends with that. This is an extremely, again, selfish time. Is your friend's name on your diploma when you graduate from UCF? No. Are your professors' names on there? Nope. Are your advisors' names? Mm-mm. Mine? No. The only person's on there is Dr. Hitt, All right, and what he is doing, saying, yes, you did it. Did he have a lot to do with it? I'm being videotaped. Yes, he had a lot to do with it. All right, but truly, that's the only signature on there. It's your name. There's nowhere on your transcript, again, can you put, the reason I didn't succeed so well in history this semester is because I had a friend who was in trouble. I had a crisis in my dorm. All right, there's no parentheses on your transcript, none. So we got to get selfish right now, people. All right, don't get caught up in all of that. All right, if people are having crises that are going on, and you got to compartmentalize that as well. All right, my mother did not talk to me for 2 weeks because I wouldn't come home one weekend for my grandparents' anniversary. 2 weeks, she would not speak to me. She goes, you need to come home. I said, Mom, I can't. I've got a huge paper due next week. There's no, I work all week. You know my schedule. I can't, if I come home, please. When is it going to get done? You know what happens when you go home. You just did. You went on your world tour of your neighborhood, right? All right, make sure you see, make sure you see, make sure you see. You ate, you got some laundry done, all of that kind of good stuff. Did you study? Not many, okay? And it's called a break for a reason, okay? It's called that. So you got to be very, very selfish. And we're only talking, what? We've got 6 more weeks left? That's not a lot of time to be selfish. And you're entitled to be selfish. If you want this to occur, you got to make some changes. Make sense? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of great positive facial things there. All right, that's good. Get with people and get surrounded by those who are going to push you in that direction. That's why you use SARC. That's why you use your advisor. Use your professors. We do not have a I shouldn't say it. It's not that we don't have a vested interest in it. We can be real honest because we're not friends. We're never going to be friends. All right, now if you're on the side of I-4, I will pull over, okay? I will do that for you, all right? But we're not friends, all right? Never going to be. No. What? No. Why? No. All right? So my interest is in pushing you forward, and somebody who can be that honest is able to make that happen. So come in and use us. That's what SARC, that's what the team there in SARC is for, especially during this time of the semester. We do one-on-one consultations with students, all right? So we can help you with this. Make these game plans happen, all right? I want this to become your reality, all right? I want this to become your reality. You got all the tools. You just got to buckle up and stay strong. Okay? Questions about that at all? Okay? So people are going to go home, make some great cards going on here and things. Okay? Sounds like a good plan? All right. And I would like to thank you for attending the SARC Academic Success Workshop series on goal setting and motivation. We look forward to seeing you at the next workshop. Thank you.